Women are not naturally submissive. That's why you have a lot of women that won't submit and have problems with submitting, is because women was never supposed to submit. If you read, if you really use the internet like you should, you'll see that women don't supposed to submit to men. Actually, men submit to women with their devotion. So that's why you see a lot of men, they love submissive women, because that's basically, you do what I say. You're my dummy. You follow my lead. But men can't even lead. And we women know this now. It's millions of videos talking about this, that men are not good leaders. So how the fuck do women follow a person that simply can't even lead? He cannot lead himself. How the fuck can he lead a woman? So let's talk about it. A lot that you were told was that women are supposed to be submissive. Let's be real. That phrase didn't come from God or inner peace. It came from patriarchy, colonizers, and insecure men who wanted free labor, emotional pacifiers, and glorified sex dolls who wouldn't talk back. So first of all, let's break it down. First is colonial religion and control tactics. So before colonism, cultures worship the divine feminine energy. Women were leaders, warriors, healers, and boom, colonizers showed up with Bibles and bullets that your woman now needs to submit to her husband. That's what God said. Now that's what men said. Because it's easier to dominate a woman. You make her feel like obeying you is her divine duty. Submissiveness was taught as safety. So genuinely, women were told, be quiet, don't talk back. Let the man lead. You're going to ruin your relationship if you're too strong. Why? Because challenging a man used to literally get women killed, beaten, or abandoned.
I mean, if men aren't meant to lead, if men aren't built to lead, then who created society? Who created the phones that you use? Who created the laundromat? Who created washers and dryers so you don't have to constantly keep hand washing your clothes? You can just throw your clothes in the washer, it will wash it, and then you just throw your clothes in the dryer and it will dry in the next hour or so. Who decided to say, well, you know what? Damn it, my baby girl and all of these other women constantly keep bleeding from the coo. So, hey, well, you know what? Maybe we can go ahead and start creating some tampons and, some pads for these women, right? So they can, so they can control that, right? So it's not making a mess everywhere. Who do you think created that? Men. Who do you think created the devices for your women to be able to use today? Men. Who created the buildings, the pillows, everything that you women can enjoy today? Men created that. Now, well, what does that have to do with leadership? Well, number one, somebody had to come up with an idea to lead people to mass produce all of these things that women are using today. That's number one, right? So somebody had to come up with the idea, and that was men, right? And then it was still men who said, you know what, we're going to go ahead and start putting branches and buildings and factories all over these places. We're just going to hire a bunch of men to go ahead and create all of these things for women. A man is behind all of this. A owner is behind all of this. And it took a team. And in order to have a team, you have to have men be able to create it for you. And the issue that we have with women who think like this is because women end up going out here. I bet you she would tell other men, why are you trying to police women's bodies? Why are you trying to tell women what they can and can't wear? We tell y'all what you can and can't wear to protect y'all from other men who can harm you. But a lot of your women don't want to listen. So they go out there, something happens, then they want to complain. And what do men say? Well, we tried to tell you. We tried to tell you what you can do to prevent situations like that. We tell you what time you can leave the house, what time you can be out, and what to wear. You still choose to do, still choose to do what you want to do because, hey, woman empowerment. But once again, here's a man trying to guide you in the right direction. And the issue with that is when a man is trying to tell you something, you have to want to be able to listen, right? You have to want to be able to listen. And so many women will always expect a man to protect, expect a man to provide a lifestyle for a woman. In order for a man to be able to protect you, you have to follow him because he's a leader. He's a leader. If men aren't natural leaders, then why is it every time you open up the door and somebody wants to talk to the homeowner and it's the woman and the man that walks up to the door together, why do they always go straight to the man and start asking the man questions? right? Because just automatically, instinctively, we know that it's going to be the man that's going to be the head of the household. Even if it's a woman's household, they're still going to talk to the man. But once you have to sit here and say, well, nah, she runs the household. Oh, okay. Well, let me go ahead and talk to her, right? But you have to make that be known. You have to, quote unquote, break that natural instinct that, hey, well, listen, the man is going to be the man of the household. So I would just assume that he is the one to talk to. And just kind of let's just go biblically. I mean, the divine order: God, man, woman, and children. A man is above woman. When the Bible talks about, I mean, y'all literally have a whole passage about women being virtuous women. Proverbs 31:10-31. It even states in Genesis that God gave man all rights to have domain over all things on the land. Have domain pretty much over all of earth. We're just being honest. Wherever it is, being honest. And the women are just the beneficiaries of that. Let's just be real. The women are the beneficiaries of that. And then on top of that, women came from a man's rib, not the other way around. But once again, what I stated earlier, all of the examples that I gave y'all earlier, that's not biblical. You could just go back and just go search through history and see that this is all that's what man created, right? That's what man created. Now you're talking about biblically speaking, where the Most High gave all men domain over earth and all things, where the Most High is telling you that the divine order is God, man, then woman, then children, and you coming from the man's rib, and y'all have a whole scripture about a woman being virtuous. What this woman is, what she is talking about, is not somebody who was virtuous. But let's continue.
So our mothers, grandmothers, and aunties weren't teaching submission out of peace. They were teaching submission out of survival. Understand it is all about power, not partnership. If you gotta submit to keep a man, that is not love. That's servitude. Men created a dynamic where they lead with ego. They fail to emotionally involve. They demand submission as a shield from accountability. And when we start to question it, because deep down, we know they call us disrespectful, masculine, unlovable, too independent. No, you're not just programmable anymore. That's why some women don't feel right when they submit, because it's simply not natural for us to submit. Understand that men these days, modern men, still think that submission equals love. That's why you see a lot of women in happy relationships that's thriving. They still doing their own things and accomplishing their own goals. Most of these men is screaming that I want a submissive woman, but barely got leadership skills, a job, a car. They can't communicate. They have no vision. They live off vibes and podcasts. They're mad when you're not folding. Because this generation of women, we heal, we build, we question, and we walk the fuck away. Understand that submission is not love language, it's conditioning. Submissive was taught to us. We wouldn't leave when we were unhappy. We wouldn't speak when we feel like we're being disrespected. We stay smaller than our man. His ego could survive. We blame ourselves for his lack of love, effort, or his growth. This be soft, be quiet, be obedient shit is BS emotional slavery. Real loves look like mutual respect, healthy communication, shared leadership, safe emotional space. You do not have to submit to be loved. You don't need to shrink yourself to be chosen. You can be soft and assertive. You can be nurturing and non-negotiable. Woman you are when you're free, not fearful, is the real you. And she's divine as fuck.
Once again, guys, I think we all heard about this show because they use this as an example all the time. But we heard about Bear Grylls Island, where you had a group of women having to survive on their own, and they had a group of men having to survive on their own. The men were surviving and thriving. They're picking leaders. They know who's in charge of what, because generally speaking, when it comes down to man in leadership, it's almost like a pack of wolves, like a pack of dogs. They always going to pick the leader. Same thing here. Same thing when it comes down to men. They're always going to pick a leader because we all have things that we are good at. And we're going to put the person in position. Like, let's just say if you got 5 things, we're going to put the best person who is talented at one of those things. We're going to put him there. We're going to do that for all of the other 4 guys. That's what you call order. Who do you think put order in America? Who do you think put order in pretty much any country that you go to? Men. And what do y'all think the women were doing on the Bear Grylls Island? They were struggling. I believe they end up having to stop the show or having to tell the women like, "Hey, man, listen, we're gonna have to cancel this because y'all women about to starve to death, man." Y'all, I mean, like, dude, like this is getting pathetic at this point. And to then turn around and say that women were warriors, once again, she can't even substantiate any of this stuff. But to then sit here and say that women were warriors, where? See, here's the thing, right? People understand, right? Understand, women are not meant to be in the military. Women are not meant to be in war. If women were meant and capable of being in the military, then we wouldn't have to lower the standards of being able to get into the military that men have to pass. We wouldn't have to lower those standards for women to be able to get in. And these are people who are training. We have way better training regimens than we did way back then. So I know for a fact your women were not no damn warriors. You may have a few here. You may have a few women that were out there in the field. You may have had a squadron of women who were some warriors, right? You may have a little a small little village that was full of women, right? Bunch of y'all remember the movie Women King, right? You probably had a little small group, but overall, if men really wanted to overtake a land that was ran by a bunch of women, what do you think these men will do? They're not going to kill y'all women off. I hope you know that. They're not going to kill y'all women off. They're going to use you for something else. But to then try to sit here and make this, try to make this statement and idea that y'all can keep up with men, that come on, man, we gotta stop being disingenuous, man. We gotta stop arguing in bad faith. I remember seeing a video. Of I can't even say the website because the website is wild, right? The name in of itself is wild, right? But I don't know if it might have been the UK. I don't even think it was the Ukrainian war or the Russian war. It was like a different war, right? It was something else going on. It might have been the Russian war. It might have been the Ukrainian war. I could be wrong. But there was a whole video. There was a whole live video of these troops. They were able to overtake. They were able to overtake like a bunker or something, right? And in that bunker, they had a woman in there. They had a woman in there, mind you. All of these people are part of the army, not the U.S. Army, but all of these people are part of the army, military, or whatever country they're a part of, right? You had this woman up in there. They end up, of course, killing her off, but you know what they did before they killed her off. Once again, wow, as a woman, why would you even want to put yourself in that situation? But once again, you see that there's more use to you than just killing you off. Right. So that should obviously tell you that y'all are not meant to lead. Y'all are not meant to be on that battlefield leading any group of people. Because as I stated before, if these people really wanted to bust up in the household and do something, do some damage, they could. Right. They could. That's why you have to have other men to offset the bad men who wants to do harm to you. But we've allowed society, right? We've made society so safe that women can come on the internet and say this ignorant stuff. But then I was just thinking to myself, why, like, it just baffles me that women just come on here and say the stuff that they say. But then as you kind of scroll on her Instagram page, her YouTube page, her TikTok page, whatever, right? I was on her TikTok, but you have so many women who have the issue with people being able to read them or being able to come up with a idea or an assumption about them based off of their social media. Well, is a thing, right? As I'm scrolling through TikTok, I come across this video.
Me and my little boo had sex last night, right? And the reason why I'm telling y'all this is because the new toy that we tried out yesterday, this is why my hair is down, was fucking wild, okay? One thing about with women on women, we're not shy to explore. We're not embarrassed to explore each other. That's why I love making love to a woman. But Wet for Her has sent me some toys to try out with my partner. And we tried our first toy out yesterday. When I tell y'all, she didn't last 15 minutes. I don't know if I was just drunk and maybe, you know what I'm saying, I was getting it in, but she didn't last 15 minutes. That was the first toy. Bitch, we got 6 more to go through. I think I went a little bit hard for the first toy of us trying out. I want to show y'all the size of the box. I'm not going to show y'all the print because TikTok. This is how long the box is. So you take a wild guess of how many inches. I was running, but she was a good girl. She took it. I have another one that we're going to try out and some more toys we want to go through that we want to, experience. But y'all, if y'all want some good quality toy, it feels natural, a natural feel. Even the one I tried last night was kind of like bendable, so you can like curve it so it can hit her spot. And it was constantly hitting her spot. She could not handle that shit. This is how the packaging looks. It's Wet for Her. A lot of people are going to ask, well, how you get your pleasure? The one I used last night, it pleases me and it pleases her. So whatever she's feeling, bitch, I feel it too. That's why I love making love to women because it's an experience. It's fun. It's thrilling. You don't feel embarrassed when you're doing it. It feels super fucking natural. Give her a break today, but we won't have to go through the rest of these toys. But y'all hit up Wet for her if you want some real quality toys to please your woman. And even fellas, they got, different stuff that you can use. They got one toy called Flick Me or Lick Me. Bitch, it be flicking. Y'all hit up Wet for her for some good quality stuff. They sent me so much.
And I just made a video yesterday that your woman who likes to play for both teams, the elevator never goes up to the top. Now I'm seeing why she's saying men can't lead, because she thinks that, hey, well, listen, because I can do both. I understand what it means to be a leader in my relationship. I can be a better boyfriend to a woman than a actual man can. And that's the mindset that these people have. So, but once again, this last video that I just saw just kind of just put an icing on the cake. And then the tattoos and how you dress. Once again, people, it's the signs are always there, right? The signs are always there. But guys, let me know down below what do y'all guys think. If you share with me a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel.